Namaste guys, this is Sahara Rose here. Today I want to share a little bit about how the different doshas deal with stress. So if you don't know what a dosha is essentially an energy, and I like to call it the mind-body types. It comes from Ayurveda, which is the world's oldest health system that originated in ancient India 5,000 years ago. I am an expert in Ayurveda. I just wrote The Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda, which will be available in bookstores everywhere, August 2017. My website, eatfeelfresh.com, has a quiz that you can take to figure out what your mind-body type is. And it's such an amazing tool to have because it will help you understand not only yourself better, but those around you. And really, we are all archetypes, like there are certain people that you can kind of categorize them in a certain way and others that are another. And it all stems down to your energy. So when you meet someone, immediately you pick up on what kind of vibe that person has. Well, Ayurveda is based off of that. So the three doshas or mind-body types are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So I talk a lot about this in my other videos, which you can check out here and on my website, eatfeelfresh.com, which I'll have the link to below. But Vatas are essentially very airy, they're creative, they're free thinkers, they're artistic, they move from one idea to the next. It's just a lot of flow and air and wind movement in them, okay? So then Pittas are the fire dosha. So they are strong, powerful, ambitious, hardworking. They make really good leaders and managers. But at the same time, too much fire can make them snap. Then the last one are Kaphas. So Kaphas are earth energy. They are grounded, peaceful, calm, centered. You'll know a Vata when you talk to them. A Kapha, not a Vata. You'll know a Kapha when you talk to them because they will talk like this. And their energy brings you in instead of coming to you, if that makes sense. So we have Vata here, which is all over the place and they have a lot of ideas going on and they're thinking blah, blah, blah. And then Pittas, who are, this is what we're supposed to do, this is how we get there, let's go do it. And then Kaphas, who are like, let me meditate on that. And they really speak from the heart and it grabs you. So that's a little bit about the doshas in a very esoteric way, but let's talk about how they become stressed and what that means for them. So Vatas, as I mentioned, they're very flighty. They have a lot of movement and air inside of them. So when Vatas get stressed, they get super anxious. Vatas' heads are in the future. They're constantly worrying and overanalyzing and overthinking, and they wonder, well, what could go wrong? What do I need to be doing? What could that person have actually meant underneath it all? And their minds are going so fast that when they're stressed, they can't really keep up. And they're no longer in their bodies and no longer in their hearts, but so far in their heads that they've spiraled somewhere else. And they're thinking about situations that have not even happened, but that's how the Vata mind works. You see, when there's too much wind, it turns into a tornado, and tornadoes we cannot control. So with Vatas, it's really important to ground back in, to connect back in with your womb if you're a woman, or just that part of you right here, your sacral chakra, which is life, it is birth, it is creation. So when you're connected to your body, suddenly things start to come back into focus and alignment, and you realize whoa, a lot of these issues and things that I'm worrying about haven't actually happened. So does it really make sense? Does it really serve my highest self to be worried about these things? So if you are someone that experiences a lot of anxiety and you're constantly staying up at night, stressing about things that are out of your control, then I invite you to come back in and connect to your body, whether it's just breathing and feeling that you're alive. I invite you right now to take a breath. And just allowing things to slow down. And paying attention to where you are in that time and space. Noticing how your feet feel. Your hands. Your shoulders. Are they up here? Can you bring them down lower? Vatas need that continual check-in. If they don't check in with themselves, they spiral, the wind takes them somewhere else. So that's why they need to constantly, need to reconnect with those other two doshas, the fire and the earth. So if you're feeling stressed, you have insomnia, you cannot sleep, you're overanalyzing things, bring it back in. So next I'm going to talk about how Pittas handle stress. So Pittas are the fire dosha. They are great leaders, managers, athletes. Anything that requires sincere drive, Pittas have. So Pittas are the kind of people that make a to-do list and will be sure that they check every single thing off that to-do list. But at the same time, what happens is when you give yourself these lists and these schedules and all of these things that you need to get done, and you hold your value to these things and you say, if I don't get these things done, I am not enough. Well, that's what Pittas do. And then what happens is you take it all out on yourself. So Pittas are the most prone towards anger and impatience and irritability. Because they say, if I am what I perform and I am what I put out in this world. And if I don't do enough, then I am not enough. And that is not the right way to think. So with Pittas, if you notice this need for perfection, this need for achievement, remind yourself that you are not a human doing. You are a human being. How can you just be and accept yourself, regardless of what your performance is? Regardless of how much money you made this month, or how many people's business cards you got. What if you didn't have any of that? How would you value yourself? So Pittas, with all that fire, they need to cool off and simmer down. They need to invite in that water, connect back in with the earth, and allow that air, that flow, that Vata that we were talking about come through them. So with Pittas, if you notice that you're angry, you're impatient, you're agitated, a car cuts you off and you're screaming at it, then again, also remember to breathe, but remember to cool off and look at your life in the grand scheme of things. And no one's going to remember what your tax report said. They're going to remember you for who you were. So focus on just loving yourself and being the best person that you can be. And paying attention to how you treat those that are around you. Because sometimes we're so caught up into looking like a great person for everyone else, and social media is attributing to that. But then we don't call our parents, we're not present with our spouses, we don't make time for our friends. So again, honing that in, and instead of needing to be everywhere, just be here. That's really your only goal. Just be here right now in this present moment. And then I promise you, when that big task and job opportunity and all of these things come your way, you will be able to handle it. Because you will know how to be present. And that is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. So the last dosha that we're going to talk about are Kaphas. Now, how do Kaphas handle stress? You see, Kaphas, they are that person that everyone comes to when they have a problem. I like to say they have grandmother energy because they take people into their loving arms and they're like, I'm going to make you okay. They bring you food and they make sure you're wearing your socks. You're not walking on tiled feet, or at least my grandma does that. But they are always providing for everyone else. They are the caregivers of their families. I oftentimes see women taking on this role, especially older women. So in that pursuit of making sure everyone around them is okay and everyone's good, and do you need anything here, and do you need anything there, and how can I be of service to you? And I love that about Kaphas. I love that. But what happens is you're not paying attention to what you need. And if you're giving your cup to everyone else around you, yours will be left empty. And you'll have nothing left to give. And that's what you want to do. That's what makes you feel alive. You love giving back, and I don't want to take that away from you. No one ever should. But you have to give to yourself in order to give back. So with Kaphas, what happens is when they get stressed and life is just putting too many burdens on their shoulders and they cannot take it anymore. What happens is they just go in and they think, if I don't have it all together, the rest of the world will collapse. So they internalize this sadness and they take it out on emotional eating, not taking care of their bodies. What they actually do is hurt themselves. It might actually be in a physical way, but most of the time it's in these small little things that we do from a lack of self-love. When you don't allow yourself to exercise, to go outside every day, you're telling yourself, I don't love you enough for you to be worth that time. And interestingly enough, that same Kapha will gladly give an hour of their time for their husband or their son or whoever else. But when it comes to themselves, they think they're being selfish. So they put their needs aside. So if you are a Kapha and you are carrying upon everyone else's burdens, I want you to realize that what they want for you is to be happy. These people are coming to you with their issues because they trust you and they love you. And because of that love, they want you to feel your best. You are actually doing them the biggest service possible by putting you first. Because then your cup will be full and you will have more to share. So with Kapha is stored in the throat. So mucus, phlegm, congestion is all Kapha related. When we have too much Kapha in our systems, we get stuck in our throats. So thyroid issues, Kapha. If you're getting sick and phlegmy and coughs and mucusy all the time, Kapha. If you can't stop eating no matter what, Kapha. So if these are things that resonate with you, I want you to shake them off. And I literally mean shake them off. So if you ever notice that a dog, they get up and they shake, and when something's up and they shake, and kids do that too, but then society tells us to stop. And it says that's weird, you don't shake. But Kapha gets stuck, it's too much earth, too much condensation. So it needs to be shaken apart. So that could literally mean just shaking your body and being like, ah, and releasing it. And it might sound totally weird, but it's actually been practiced in shamanic societies around the world for thousands of years. It could be in a cardio class, just getting your heart rate up, just 20 minutes a day of just jumping jacks and moving. And I know that's the last thing that you want to do and you want to hear, but I promise you, you will feel so much more alive if you do it. Moving your body. Because if our bodies are stuck, so are our minds, and we become stuck in the past, and that's where Kaphas are. Kaphas are looking into the past. What did I do wrong? What could have been? What happened? Instead of being in the present, like Pittas, or in the future, like Vatas. Vatas are worrying about, well, what's going to be, that they forget about the present. Pittas are, oh my God, I'm so angry at you right now, that they're not thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow when you're mad at me about that, or what happened yesterday. It's just their anger at that time. And then Kaphas are in the past, okay? So Kaphas will be, this breakup that happened, this relative that passed away, and these stories that they repeat in their heads, and they weigh them down. So I want you to release that. And I want you to love yourself enough that you deserve that to be released. It's heavy carrying that around with you everywhere you go. I hear you, it's heavy. So I want you to know that you don't need to carry that anymore. Just let it go. You'll be so much happier for those around you, but most importantly for yourself, when you've let go of the past. And invite yourself into the present moment and realize just how beautiful everything is. So, we've discussed Vatas, the airy, the future, Pittas, the anger, the present, Kaphas, the heaviness, the past, and how to get rid of all of that. So, I invite you to share with me in the comments which dosha, which archetype, which mind-body type resonated with you most? How do you handle stress? Are you anxious in the future? Are you angry in the present? Or are you depressed in the past? And if you read someone's comments on here, I invite you to also give them advice. Say, hey, I've dealt with that before, and this is how I've healed it. Because I am not the teacher you guys are. I am just here channeling through the message. So thank you guys so much for powering through this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope this has helped you. Namaste.